Good way to remember this is when you're drawing a profile view character, profile starts with a P. What else starts with a P? Pizza. What's the shape of the eye? It's a pizza, okay? So remember, profile, pizza, okay? Pizza. Draw a pizza, that's the profile. Pizza, draw a pizza, that's the profile, okay? Anytime you're drawing a profile view character, it's a freaking slice of pizza. What's up guys, welcome. Today we're going to be saving more of your guys' art. Once again, I've gone into our Patreon Discord server and found some pieces that we could use today to demonstrate some common mistakes that artists all make. It's okay to make mistakes, guys. Mistakes is how we grow. No art is beyond saving and no artist is beyond help. Unless you watch Cooley, then you might be a lost cause, brother. Anyways, let's get started. Here is our first victim with a beautiful portrait. Now, as you guys can see, something has clearly gone wrong here, but I'm a man of words of affirmation, so I want to talk about one thing that you did really well, which is the rendering. The colors that you've used to render the face and where you've placed the lights and the shadows are honestly quite spot on. You know, there's not much that I would change about that. So you've done a great job, but unfortunately drawing is more than just colors, so there's a little bit more that we could work on with this piece. Let's talk about the proportions. Okay, now in typical Chinese fashion, I'm going to start doing math, so bear with me. This right here, this is the one measurement that is one of the most important when it comes to drawing portraits, and that is the overall distance from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin and where the eye line sits on that line. If we just give her an imaginary top of the head somewhere along there, we can see that the eye line actually sits below the halfway point on this length. Now look at the drawing. Here is the top of the head. Draw a line down to the chin and let's place the eye line. You can see the eye line, not only is it crooked, but it's also above the halfway point. So things have gone a little bit backwards here. She has a little bit of an underdeveloped cranium. So now you're asking, how the hell are we going to fix this? Why, of course, we're going to use Liquify. For those of you who are somehow not familiar with Liquify, this is basically a tool in most digital art programs that allow you to just push and pull the painting around. You can really get some very creative results from this, you know, if you want your character to truly be unique. And it really allows you to make some very good edits without actually destroying the drawing that's underneath. So you can get some fantastic results without having to put in too much work, you know, like erasing all of your underdrawing and then painting it all over again. And there you have Sid, right? Very powerful tool. I like it. So there's your before, there's your after. Now on to victim number 2. All right, I'm just playing. Okay, let's do this for real. So as we discussed, there's too little space on the top of the head for the cranium. That means we have to expand the top of the skull. So she's gonna get a slightly bigger cranium. I'm gonna push the hairline down a little bit just to make her skull look a bit bigger. Now, of course, while I'm expanding the size of her skull, I'm also gonna have to bring her eyes as well as her eyebrows down a little bit further along the face. Honestly, her mouth and her nose, the positioning of these elements look perfectly fine to me. So I'm just making some very small adjustments here to the rest of the face. Now I'm going to fine tune some smaller adjustments in the eyebrows as well as in the eyes. It does look like her eyes are looking a little bit off to her right side. So we're going to just pull the irises back in a little bit to make it look like she's looking at the camera. Personally, I find eyes to be very tricky to draw because if you're off by the tiniest degree, it looks like your character is looking in a completely different direction. So it can oftentimes be quite a challenge to get your eyes looking in the right direction. Now I'm also going to expand the silhouette of the hair just to match up with what we see in the reference. There's a lot more volume in the reference and a lot less volume in the actual drawing. And the overall shape of the hair is a little bit different. So I'm going to just try to mimic what I see in the reference here. And there we go. As you guys can see, with the application of a very simple measurement, the character now looks much closer to what we saw in the reference. It's very counterintuitive, this whole art thing. You assume you're doing art because you don't like math, but it's actually just more math. You know what they say, you can take the art out of the math, but you can't take the math out of the art. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually render the character out a little bit more. You can see on the face of the character, there's a lot of these hard edges, you know, especially along the cheeks, along the jaw. We do want to maintain some hard edges, but we don't want to have them everywhere. Okay, so on some of these soft transitions, I'm just going to blend these edges out. And immediately, what do you notice? Well, the cheek is a lot softer, right? Immediately, the jaw now is a lot rounder, right? Ooh. Now, even the lighting here is a little bit diffused, right? So that means this cast shadow under the chin is also going to be softened up as well. Let's also soften up this shadow along the nose ridge. Oh yeah, look at that. So nice and blended. Now, the next thing I want you to pay attention to is the eyes in the reference. There's a lot of ambient occlusion, a lot of dark shadows. You don't really see a hard transition from the eyelid directly to the whites of the eyes. It's all covered in shade. Whereas on our drawing, we see a very stark contrast between the eyelid and the whites of the eyes. So that means there's not enough ambient occlusion, which means I'm just going to eyedropper a very dark color here that's already in the drawing, I'm going to take an airbrush here and I'm going to start adding in some ambient occlusion. Very lightly, I'm going to do this not just for the eyes, but for other areas on the face as well. I'm going to take this dark color and also bring it over to the side of the head where the hair meets the face. There's a lot of ambient occlusion, a lot of shadow here where the light just cannot reach. I'm also going to add a slightly darker shadow to the nose area, especially under the nose and on the other side of the nose. Usually I try to avoid a very hard transition between the red of the lips to the rest of the skin. So just for personal preference, I like to soften up some of these edges a little bit so that the skin on the lips blends a little bit better to the skin on the rest of the face. I do also think the lips should be a little bit darker because there's a lot of shadow that's falling, especially on the upper lip and parts of the lower lip. And in the corners of the mouth, as well as the opening of the mouth, you're going to get some of the darkest shades. Going to shrink her lips down here just a little bit, again, in the liquify tool, because when you're blending the lips, they tend to explode outwards and it tends to make it look bigger than it actually is. There we go. And then we're going to add a little bit more shadow on the other side of the upper lip. It is a very common thing for people to want to, you know, draw every hair of the eyebrow, but to me, I think it's actually more important to capture the overall shape of the eyebrow as opposed to the hair. You don't really need this hairy texture. You know, in fact, I'm just going over it with a solid round brush that doesn't have any texture on it. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to focus on the color as well as the shape of the eyebrow. Now it looks much better to me, so I'm going to add some highlights in the eyes as a bit of a final touch, just like that. Now let's take this opportunity to also flesh out the hair a little bit, because I see a lot of uncertainty here, especially up here in the highlights. There's a lot of random brush strokes that amount together to something that looks a little bit messy. Down here as well, there's a little bit of messiness. For hair, you really don't have to do too much, you know, as long as you can get the overall shape right and get the placement of the highlights right, and you know, you add in a little bit of a silhouette on the outside of the hair, it should do the job. So we're going to just simplify this a little bit. I'm going to add more shadows to the body of the hair right here. Then I'm going to add my own highlights. So let me show you guys a simple way, okay? So you add a streak of highlights like that, follow the direction of the highlights that you see on the hair, and then you take your round brush, take the surrounding colors and just cut back into the highlight. So you place the highlight and then you cut back into it and you get this like almost shiny feel to the hair. Remember to follow the direction of the hair when you cut back into the highlight, and that gives you like the illusion of highlight on hair, right? So you could do the same thing down here. Again, just take a slightly lighter color, draw in a couple of highlights here, and then take the dark color, cut back into it. So I'm now using a sharper brush to kind of chisel out the highlight shapes a little bit, and you can see it adds a little bit more detail, a little bit more sharpness, right? And with this sharper brush, what I can also do is add some elements of loose hair strands to the outside of the silhouette. And you can see as soon as I start adding these, it really helps me to, you know, sell the texture of hair. A good way to think about it, guys, is to remember that you're going after an illusion. You're not drawing the actual thing. And one final pass in the Liquify tool just to expand the top of her head a little bit more. Now you might have forgotten where we came from and what the original drawing looked like. So here is a comparison in 3, 2, 1. That is the before and that is the after. Before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. Look at how much bigger the cranium actually had to get in order for us to kind of fit her proportions into what we see in the reference, right? It's very easy to kind of fall into this trap of losing sight of the overall proportions when you don't actually measure where your character's eye line is in comparison to the top of the head and the bottom of the chin. So remember, when you're drawing your characters, to be doing the math. Now here is our second victim for today. So we've taken the original drawing and we've turned him into a mouth breather. The artist said, looks off and I can't get the hair right. You know what? Honestly, understandable. That's why I'm here to help. If you don't understand exactly what looks off, I'm here to point it out to you. So this all again goes back to the measurements of the face. Now in the original drawing, I don't know if this is actually a drawing or if it's an AI generated drawing. You can't tell these days, man. It's freaking tiring. On a human face, and I reiterate this every time, you gotta measure the top of the hairline, the bottom of the chin, and divide this length into 3/3. 1/3 is for the forehead, 1/3 is for the nose, the last third is for the mouth area. So immediately if we do that same thing here, you can see you've got 1/3 for the forehead and the nose is humongous, right? Compared to the mouth, he's lacking a chin. It's like somebody uppercutted him really hard and it just never went back to normal. Now, something else you guys can do to figure this out is if you just draw a line from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the ear and then just map out the shape of the rest of the jaw, right? Let's do that here in the drawing. Notice how much smaller it is in comparison to the rest of the face versus what you see in the reference, right? That shape is completely different. Something else that I also want to talk about is, the shape of the eyes. Usually when you're viewing a character from a side profile view, the eye looks more like a pizza, less like an actual eye. Now, in this case, the eye is drawn from almost a front-on kind of angle, but the eye should look more like this. Right? You should see a lot more of this side, and this side almost wraps around the surface of the eyeball. Good way to remember this is when you're drawing a profile view character, profile starts with a P. What else starts with a P? Pizza. What's the shape of the eye? It's a pizza, okay? So remember, profile, pizza, okay? Pizza. Draw a pizza, that's the profile. Pizza, draw a pizza, that's the profile, okay? Anytime you're drawing a profile view character, it's a freaking slice of pizza. And also this person mentioned the hair again, so of course we're gonna have to work on the hair. But first things first, let's pull up Liquify. Let's warp some pixels around here and give our boy some much needed plastic surgery. So the first thing I'm gonna do is focus on the chin. I'm gonna bring the jaw bone down. We're gonna give him a lot more length to work with here on his chin. I'm gonna bring his nose up a little bit more, cut his nose bridge in a little bit more. I'm gonna bring his brow ridge out a little bit more, bring his forehead down a little bit more, and then I'm going to squish the top of his cranium a little bit. Now I'm going to have to close his mouth here as well, probably because the teeth here are bothering me quite a bit. It does look like he has a bit of an underbite, and there we go. This is about the most that I can actually do here without actually pulling out my brush. So notice how before he had a lot more mass in his head and a lot less mass in his jaw. So we've basically shifted his cranium down a bit and blown some of that mass down into his jaw. Now this is a much easier base to work with. So I'm going to take the eyelid and make it look more like a pizza shape. Just like that, right? Put the eye into the right perspective here. Now I'm also going to take his lips and close his lips. We should also have a lot more shadow just under the jaw. We could also add the same shadow to the back of the neck, back of the shoulder, like you see in the reference there. Let's add a lighter color to the chin here and then extend that up towards the jaw. Now I'm going to take a darker color and add in the details in the ears, because right now it's a hole. I don't know why you've drawn your ear like this. I mean, I get it. Look, nobody likes drawing ears, but let's not leave it as just a hole, please. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to change the angle of the brows a little bit. They are angled a lot more downwards in the original reference, so I'm going to liquefy that and reflect the angle that we see in the reference. Also notice that the anatomy on the neck was not really figured out in the original drawing. This is something that we really have to pay attention to, especially when someone's turning their head like this. If you turn your head, you'll notice that there's a lot of muscles that start to show up that control the movement of your big skull, which means we have to add in some shadows here. We have to add in some blending here. Let's also add in some light, right? Because the muscle is going to be bulging out, and on one side, it's going to be catching more of the light, and there's going to be like an Adam's apple in the middle. Hey, look at that, man. Look. Oh my God. Now his neck is jacked, right? He's looking like a Formula One driver. Next up, we've got the hair. So like I said before, right? You don't need to overcomplicate hair. Treat it as a big shape. Again, I'm going to go in with a round brush, creating these big shapes in the silhouette. Not worried about the strands right now. I'm just treating it as a big block, just like that, right? Now you can immediately see that we're already getting a better read on the shape language of the hair by just treating it as a big block. And this is one of the reasons why I love to use a round brush when I first start rendering hair, because it really just forces you to focus on the big shapes. Like, you don't have a choice. You can't draw small strands when you're using a round brush. Now let's add in a streak of highlights here, just like that. Let's take a dark color and cut back into it. Now let's take that highlight color once again and maybe apply it a little bit onto the other side. Kind of move it down to this part of the hair where it might flare out a little bit at the back, and then drag some of that highlight down. And again, taking the original color, we're gonna cut back into it and reduce. Start up a new layer, so use a sharper brush now, and we're gonna start adding in the elements of the silhouette of the hair. And I'm kind of, again, following the overall shape that we've established and just adding strands and silhouette elements outside of that shape, right? I'm not doing anything crazy like that. We're not starting entirely new hair shapes. We're just kind of enhancing what we have that's already there. Let's add in some ambient occlusion under the hair, some shadow there, and let's add in some more details with a lighter color, showcase the overall shape and flow of the hair, just like that. Last but not least, let's take a very bright color and add in a highlight on the eyeball. Okay, just to make him look a little bit more alive. Highlight on the nose, maybe let's add a highlight on the lip there. And then I'm gonna soften this part of the lips up, soften this part up for the bottom lip there as well. All right, okay. Jeez, he looks good. Now, one last look of eye run. I'm just gonna bring the outside eye down a little bit to accentuate the perspective here. So there's the before and there's the after. Just before we finish this, I'm gonna add a bit of shadow on his cheeks just so he absolutely mogs everybody he looks at, okay? So boom, soft edge, hard edge. Boom. Oh my God, that might be a little too much. Jesus. We should call this episode the objectification of man. Holy Christ, he's beautiful. All right, guys, are you ready for the big reveal? 3, 2, 1. That was the before. That's the after. Before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. To mouth breathe, to not mouth breathe. To mouth breathe, to not mouth breathe. All right, guys, so there we go. There's a set of drawings that we've managed to save today. Let me know which one was your guys' favorite and if you learned any new techniques from this video. Hopefully you'll get to implement some of the things that you saw in this video and make your drawings a little bit better. Remember, guys, you gotta do math, okay, and pizza. Math and pizza. Math and pizza. That's the essence of art. Subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more art-related content, and check out my Patreon for monthly art tutorials where we talk more in depth about specific topics that should really help you guys out on your art journeys. That being said, thanks so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and being an absolute real one. I love you so much. Oh, if only you were here right now, I would pinch your little cheeks. Look at you, so cute, sitting on the toilet like that. You stinky little